Hello and welcome to Tuesday Jam Maths. This is our math series with Daniel Maths, alright? Daniel Math Academy. So you could join us in this series even as we take this jam mathematics, solve different problems, take jam questions, solve different problems, and then make it available for people preparing for JAMB exam. So come along with us as we begin looking at this question. So let's look at question number 1. So let's get started looking at question number 1. Here we have this question says that the angle of elevation of the top of a vertical tower 50 meters high from a point X on the ground is 30 degrees. Now 30 degrees from a point Y on the opposite side of the tower. The angle of elevation of the tower at the top of the tower is 60 degrees. Find the distance between the point X and Y. So one of the things we're going to do is to start by drawing this, all right? Trying to graph this or draw this. So let's look at this. Now let's start by looking at that the angle of elevation. The angle of elevation is usually angle from the base to the top, right? When an object is looking from the ground, okay, to the top. So now we're going to draw this, that the angle of elevation of the top of the vertical tower. So let's look at this to be the tower. All right, so let's just get this up at the tower quickly. Let's say that this is the tower. Okay, now this is our tower, and of course they're made up of bricks. So we're looking at this. All right, so just gonna look at this quickly. All right, just to give you a picture of the presentation of these bricks and this of this tower. Okay, now this is the tower. Okay, and then now we're told that the tower is standing from a point of X on the ground is 30 degrees. So from this tower is standing on a point X, all right? So, and then angle of elevation is 30 degrees. So from here, so we'll have this, that this point is X, right? So this point is X, okay? And at the point 30 degrees, now the height is, so this point to this point is 50 meters, right? So this is the height, 50 meters, all right? Now, so we are told that from a point Y on the opposite side of the tower, now this is the tower, and then of course the opposite side of the tower is going to be towards this region. The opposite side of this tower, we'll pick this tower, bring it opposite here, it's going to be towards this region. That is a point from a point Y. So we're going to still maintain this line. So from the point Y on the opposite side of the tower. Now you see what is happening. This is the tower and the opposite side is this. So that tower starts from a point Y, okay, and then the angle of elevation from that point is 60 degrees. So from that point we're going to take an angle of elevation, all right, at 60 degrees. So now look at, you discover that this angle will be higher than this angle, right? So now remember that we are told that we have to find the distance between the distance between X and Y. So we're looking for this distance here, looking for distance X and Y, right? So we're looking for distance X and Y. Take note of this. So this is basically what we are to do. So you must first of all get your diagram right. So we're looking for this point. So let's call this point K, all right, to K meters. Let's call this point K meter. Now, so this is our diagram. Now, for us to solve this question, we will need to use compound triangle to solve this, all right? So but there's some part that is missing in this diagram. We don't know. So let's call this point, let's call this point, which is Y, let's call this point here, let's call this point P, and let's call this point Q. All right, so the height of the tower is PQ 50 meters, and the distance from the base of the tower to the first angle, let's call this point. All right, so let's give a distance to here. Say, let's find this point for this region. Okay, so here, let's say XQ, sum between XQ is given as, let's say, arrow meters. Okay, arrow meters. Okay, this is meters, and this is meters. So now we need to first of all find QX, okay, or XQ, so that can help us to find this. So now let's start looking at this solution. So what we're going to do is to take this first part. So this is going to be call this triangle 1. So let's call this point A, and let's call this so let's call this angle triangle A first of all. So picking out triangle A, we have this. So picking out triangle A, I have this. So this is what I have. Picking out triangle A, this is X, this is P, and this is Q. All right, now here is 50 meters. This angle is 30 degrees, but we don't know this point. We're looking for R. Okay, so take note of that. So that is going to give us, using trig function, so this is opposite over adjacent. Opposite to the triangle is the angle here, which is 50, and then the base, which is the adjacent, is R. So tan, to the function for that is tan theta is equals to opposite, all right, all over opposite all over adjacent, right, all over the adjacent. Now, so this implies that tan 30 degree is going to give us, opposite is 50 meters, and that is going to be divided by, the adjacent, which is what we're looking for, r. Okay, so if we cross multiply in this situation, what you need to do to find r is to make it a linear equation. One of the ways to make equations linear equation is when you cross multiply. So this, if we do that, this is going to give us, so here we're going to get this times this times, we're going this way. All right, take note please, we are going this way, this times this, and this times this. So if we do that, what do I have? I'm going to have arrow, okay, tan 30 degree is equals to 1 times 50 meters is going to be 50 meters. So from here, what we're looking for is r. So we're going to get that. So we're going to get from here that divide both sides. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to divide both sides by tan 30 to find r. Okay, so we're going to come here, divide here, and also come here and divide here by what we're dividing through, by tan 30 degree. That's how we need to make subject formula. Okay, so tan 30 takes off tan 30, r is equals to 50 meters, now divided by 50 meters divided by tan 30 degrees. So we're just going to plug this on calculator. We'll have that r is equal to, so let's look at this on our calculator. All right, so take notes. So let's leave calculator method and try to get using short form. Remember that our angles are one of the things we can do to help us, right, in getting our angles properly, is using our trig function. So remember that this can give you a short code. So remember this is going to be 60 degree using dividing a triangle. All right, so if we draw this complete triangle, we'll have that this is going to be up to this point. Then from here we'll have this. All right, so this is how angles have been proven. So you could use, this is 60 degree, it's going to be 60 degrees, so this point is going to be 60 degree, but we're going to divide this will be 30, this will be 30. So this is how we're going to use to get our angles. This point is going to be 1, all right, because here is 2, this is 2, and total distance is supposed to be 2, right? But if we divide this, it's going to be 1. So at the end of the day, you find out that once you use sine Pythagoras theorem, this point is going to give you root 3. so this is going to be root square root of 3. All right, now so it means that tan theta, so using this function means that tan 30 degree is going to give us 1 over root 3, which if we rationalize this by multiplying by root 3 over root 3, at the end of the day we are going to get that this is going to be root 3 over 3. So tan theta is going to be tan 30 is going to be root 3 over 3. So this is going to become 50 divided by, so this is going to be 50 divided by root 3 over 3, right? So if we solve this out, this is going to answer, therefore r is going to be 86.6 meters. So r is going to become 86.6 meters. All right, so we've gotten r, but now therefore we need to look for, so we need to use this again to complete the next part. Remember, we're looking for y, distance between y, x, and nothing. Right, so what this is going to help us do is to form the nose shape. So let's draw this triangle again, and during that we're going to have this, so we're going to get back this picture. So we're going to have this. Now we're going to have the complete triangle, this to this point and then down to this point. So this, we're going to have this point here. So here I'm now going to be using this. So this is 60 degree. Remember, this is the angle we have. This is at point P, this is at point Q. This is 50 meters, and we've gotten this point here. R is 86. All right, remember 86.6 meters. So we're looking for this point is X. Remember, this point is Y. All right, so this is what we need now. So I'm going to call this point remember, we'll call this point K. All right, so we need to find K. So using this, we're going to use the same formula, which is opposite over adjacent, but in this time our adjacent is going to have tan 60 degree is going to give us opposite, which is 50 degree to 50 meters, and all of this is going to be divided by this time. Our distance is going to become K plus 86.6. Okay, so this is what we have. Now take note of that. That's what we're going to have. So if I cross multiply, I'm going to have that K plus 80. So let's approximate that to 87. Tan 60 degree is equals to 50. All right, so what we need is to now make K plus 87 is equals to 50 divided by tan 60 degree. All right, so this is what we have. All right, so if we solve this, all right, so let's take this to the, let's take this up here. So we're going to get that 50 over tan 60. So if you look at that, we'll see that, so here we'll see that tan 60 degree is going to be, so tan 60, take note that tan 60 degree is going to give us root 3. So if we do that, this is going to become that K plus 87 is going to give us 50 divided by root 3. Okay, and when we solve this is going to give us, we divide 50 by root 3, that's going to give you 28.8 okay meters. So we can approximate that K plus 87 is going to give us 29. All right, so and then from there we can go ahead to find our K. All right, so K is going to give us 29 minus 87 meters. All right, so K is going to give us finally K is going to give us negative of 57.73 meters. Why is negative? Is because remember we're moving backward. Okay, moving backward in this direction. So but the correct answer from that question is going to be of this question, so option B. So this is the answer to this question. All right, so thank you for sticking by. Remember to pause the video, go through over and over again so that you can understand. Don't forget to share this video on our YouTube page, Daniel Maths Academy. You can like, share, remember to like, share, and then to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and we will bring more videos to you. See you in the next lesson. Bye bye.